Number 18, Shusaku Replay. So the entirety of the Shusaku series is pretty bad, but this one is the worst, and this is going to sound kind of weird since this is a hentai exclusively about a creepy gray person raping a bunch of girls, but the reason that this is so bad is primarily because of its editing. And yeah, I know, it's weird to complain about the editing of a hentai, but this is just really that bad. The transition between every scene is just terrible, and it's just so poorly made. I'm pretty much convinced that only half of the staff showed up for this. It probably didn't have an editor, it probably didn't have a writer, and it was just the director doing storyboards. And truthfully, he probably only made about half of those, and then just clumsily threw a bunch of scenes together with no coherent connection between them. Combined with all of this is the fact that the characters all suck. They're bland as hell, completely uninteresting. There's several of them that I generally forget even exist. As porn, it fails utterly. I mean, this was released in like 2002, I think. So by then, porn had become good. The first one had an excuse of being from 1999, when porn wasn't that good yet. But here, it just sucks. I mean, there was good hardcore porn. I mean, Bible Black had come out already. Night Shift Nurses had come out. I mean, there was stuff that looked good. So, it's the fact that it sucks as porn, there's no excuse for it. It just fails. And, like, not until, I think it's until episode 3, and even halfway through that episode, the main character, Shusaku, doesn't talk. And I don't think that was, like, an artistic move, or, like, something relevant to the story. I'm pretty sure it's just because his voice actor didn't show up until then, so they couldn't give him a voice. And combined with the fact that the main plot of this is that they are characters inside an H game, and the reasons they can't escape is because the person playing the H game keeps on saying it. And that is just the stupidest concept I have ever seen. Like, you see that, it gets to the end, and you're just like, what the fuck? That is so fucking stupid. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few things on the list that I 100% suggest you watch this. This is actually kind of entertaining. It is amazing in how bad it is, but it is just so poorly crafted that it has to be on this list. But yeah, watch this one. It is hilarious, but it is just so incompetently made that it deserves to be on a list like this. It's interesting. Watch it, but hate it. Number 17, Nadia the movie. So, I hate Gainax. A lot. And this is a movie based on a Gainax series. The actual TV series had Miyazaki working on it, so that prevented it from being god-awful. It was still bad, but it was at least kind of watchable. This is just an atrocity. They lost Miyazaki for it, so everything about it is just terrible. It looks atrocious, its story is completely dumb, and truthfully has nothing really to do with the series, since its plot was pretty much wrapped up. I don't really remember much about it because it's been so long since I've seen it, and truthfully, I never want to remember it. I feel lucky that I don't remember it very well. I mean, it's really, really bad. I would not suggest watching the TV series, and if you are unfortunate to watch it, don't watch the movie. Like, even if you like the series, don't watch the movie. It is so terrible. Number 16, Uchiyama Aki. I really probably shouldn't admit to having seen this, but Uchiyama Aki is child porn. And that's not even why it's bad. This is, like, I think the second hentai I ever made, and kind of a spin-off of Lolita, and it's terrible, and it makes no sense. Basically, you would think there would just be, like, your normal, like, lolly bullshit of just, like, a little child and a grown man having sex. But no, it's not. This is just absolute mind fuckery. The first episode is this nonsensical dream sequence that is just some of the weirdest imagery that I have ever seen. None of it makes sense. None of it is coherent. It has two-faced Colonel Sanders with like a table with a vacuum that goes somewhere, and I don't even want to know how that works and why that makes sense or why the fuck that happened. The second episode is just bland. It didn't really make sense. I don't think anyone had sex in it. It's just weird. They're like dolls that almost rape someone, and I don't understand why. But it's episode 3. Episode 3 is the one that I can truly talk the most about because it makes the least sense. So, it's basically there's a girl who's left with her uncle because her parents are going on vacation. And normally you would assume, oh God, I know where this is going. But no, you would be wrong. So there's a parrot that is never consistently the same size. And it just sort of doesn't seem to like the girl, and she doesn't seem to like it. And the uncle, like, has this machine that, like, squirts paint at it and has lasers and shines nonsensical disco lights on it. And he does this because it's beautiful or something. And I have no idea how that works, or what it is, or what it does, or what the fuck is going on. Then the girl, like, antagonizes the bird, and it rapes her. I don't know how or why, and it, again, as I said, the bird is not consistently the same size. Normally, it's like the size of a parrot, and then it grows to roughly the size of her, and it's so confusing, and then somehow, like, the girl, like, hits a button on the machine and it kills the bird, so the uncle gets angry and puts her in the machine. Like, he views her as being beautiful, and then the roof of the house comes off and spider webs start coming in and surround them, and they have sex in space, and then her parents' plane explodes, and yeah, I mean, nothing about it makes sense. It is so fucking confusing, and if it made sense for long enough, then it would be horribly offensive because, I mean, it's lolly porn, but at the same time, it does not allow you to form a coherent thought for long enough to be offended by it. It is just so stupid and nonsensical. Like, it's kind of interesting to watch just to see, like, what the fuck they were doing, but it is just so confusing and nonsensical and stupid. And it's child porn. I'm pretty sure that it only exists to see if, like, they could go with the loophole of it's virtual porn and that's not real. And that way they could have that fetish. But, dear God, it is just so weird and nonsensical. I hate it so much. Number 15, Armageddon. There really isn't a lot to say about this one because there's really not much to it. It is just a 2-hour movie that is just undescribably boring, which is kind of strange because it does, in theory, have a lot of action. It's about the end of the world, yet everything about it is just completely bland as hell. It is a pain to watch. Sitting through it just is mind-bogglingly dull. Nothing interesting happens in it, and it really just sucks, and it's dumb. Don't suffer